Hey everyone, what's the crack? I've had this on my rig for the past couple of weeks. This is the CAMMUS C5. This is the C12. It's bigger brother. Let's hope it addresses some of the issues that the C5 has. Let's do this. So guys, I am very excited about this one. This is the CAMMUS C12, 12 Newton meters. The C5 blew me away. It's like 5 Newton meters, but apparently that's just the holding torque. At times, like doing rally and stuff, doing drifting, I actually had to turn down the force on the C5. So this, I really hope this addresses some of the minor concerns that I had. While I'm opening this box, I will go through some of those minor concerns. The minor concerns were, as I say, minor. One is the size of those flappy paddles, the lack of an interchangeable rim, also the size of the rim. The size of the rim on the C5, it's just a bit small. It was like it was a little bit like going back to my Logitech days, you know, the G923 or whatever. It was just a little bit small, and while a small rim isn't necessarily a problem, when you start cranking up those forces, it's like it only suits certain cars. And when you have cars that have a small rotation, so like a 540 or even lower degree rotation, having that control over the forces is very, very important. Now, anybody can learn to adapt and anybody can get really good with that small rim. Part of the reason that the C5 feels so good is because of the small wheel. Because it allows it to transmit those forces because you've less leverage over it. This looks incredible. It really looks nice. Here we go. So just get rid of some of that foam here. There's like a user manual. So this is quite a comprehensive user manual. Oh, it's in multiple languages. Check this out. Nicely presented. It's a little bit sim-magic-y with this foam. Let's see what's in this box first. Let's increase the suspense just slightly. We've got, similar to what we had with the C5, some brackets. That's probably just for mounting. We've got a kettle lead. This one's no good to me. Again, they've gone for this. This is interesting because I have this on the C5. I've not needed it. I'm just running it just to see how it works. It stays on all the time. This is a little cooling fan. It's like an additional fan. You shouldn't need it. My recommendation would be to, I don't know, to be safe, just run it. But honestly, like, you can set the threshold of when the wheelbase cuts out if it gets too hot. All you're going to do is lose some force feedback. It's not going to disconnect if it gets too hot. And I've tried, I haven't been able to make it get too hot. So I don't know if you need this fan. The only reason I've installed it is for review purposes. It stays on all the time. So it's not like an adaptive one that, you know, spins more when you need more. It's not very targeted. It kind of just blows air in the general direction of the fans that are already built in the wheelbase. And while your wheelbase is on, it's just on 100% all the time. So if you're someone who likes to leave your wheelbase on, this will use a lot of, not a lot of energy, but it will use energy. The power supply, significantly bigger than what we had with the C5. A good bit bigger. This looks a lot more like what you see with, I guess it's similar to most 12 Newton meter. This is a 350 watt power supply. So that's quite a beefy power supply, which also suggests that this might be slightly more than the 12 Newton meters when it comes to the actual peak torque. We've got another lovely CAMMUS branded USB. I don't know why, but this impresses me. Having little branded cables is just nice. It's a nice little touch. Yeah, I don't know. It's pointless, but it's nice. And we've got a load of bolts here. This bolt selection looks very similar again to what we had with the C5. So let's put that box aside and let's unveil the main event here. Oh, there's weight in it, as you would expect. And here we go. Okay, so first things that I noticed straight away, like from the back, it's actually quite similar to what we had before. We've got no clutch paddles. There's no ability to add clutch paddles either. So that already straight out of the box, I think clutch paddles are really, really nice to have. So I would love to see clutch paddles on this. We've got a similar setup to what we had with the C5. So we've got your power buttons, your power cable, USB, your fan setup, and USB ports here for hooking up pedals and that. I don't have the pedals, so I will not be reviewing those, but let's, oh nice, okay, so we've got these buttons. You guys will have heard me harping on about buttons before. I love this style of button. So if you look at that, and I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a nice little satisfying click to that. These are backlit buttons as well, so that is very, very nice. We've got the same rotary encoders that we have on the C5. To be honest, they're nice. They're nice little, they're cheap, they're little plastic rotary encoders, but if you got those on a Logitech, you would be like, oh my God, Logitech's after really upping its game. They're just very, very nice. They feel like good quality encoders to me. I'm no expert. I don't know what the hardware is behind it, but that feels really good, feels very, very usable. And when I use them in game, I've been using them for the past couple of weeks in the C5. They've been great. So I've absolutely no complaints. A cool thing that we get here as well is some thumb rotaries, and they're aluminium thumb rotaries. Now these thumb rotaries, just giving them a go here, they don't have the same kind of click indent or detent, sorry, that this one does. So that has a nice detent. This, a little bit looser. So I would be worried with your thumb being so close to it, even though it's in quick access. I would be worried about accidentally hitting that because they're just quite loose. So that's something to take note of. We've got some, and these rotaries actually look very like the rotaries that we see on the Moza CS steering wheel. So they're very like those rotaries, and I actually really like that. It's like an old style guitar amp type rotary, or even just tuner amp. There used to always be those kind of rotaries. This has the click down as well, which is super nice. And we've got some aluminium, quite striking 7-way hats. Yes, very, very nice. So that is, oh, this one's not a 7-way hat. This one is, okay, interesting. I don't know why they do this. This is like what you have on CAMMUS. It's very interesting. So this one just moves very freely, and this one's a 7-way hat. I really wish, because Moza do that as well, I really wish that they just, I don't know, I really wish that you just get 2 7-way hats, because this one is nowhere near as useful as this one. This one gives a nice clean detent, and yeah, I don't know. We've got a ton of buttons here, guys. 10 buttons on a button plate like this. This is a very functional button plate. And I say button plate because if you undo these 6 bolts, you can actually change the rim on this. So I could change this rim out for a deep dish rim if I want to do drifting or whatever. Now you can't adjust the position of the shifters. And these shifters, quite clicky, but they should do the job. They're a lot nicer from a position point of view. They're a lot nicer than the C5 has. They are carbon fiber, genuine, like real carbon fiber. I'm sure you can put some damping in between those magnets just to make it a little bit, a little bit less. Quite loud. We see there's an LED rev gauge here. We've also got additional little LED bars here. I wonder if they're like for flags or whatever, or for spotter. That would be really cool. That'd be a nice touch, because they do seem quite separate. And we've got a little, a little display on here as well, which it looks to be similar to the C5. I can kind of see the outline of some very, very simple 3-digit display. So that looks nice. These thumb rotaries have click in as well, which is nice. These ones don't click in, but that's a lot of functionality on a steering wheel, guys. And to think that this is 12 Newton meters. That is absolutely mad, because if you consider the Moza R3 is very, very small. But that's 3 Newton meters. This is 4 times the power, and it's actually smaller. And if this delivers the power anywhere near as good as the C5, this is going to be a real contender. There is a little plug on the back here. I'm guessing that's just for a little USB port. Yeah, there's a little USB-C port on the back here. I'm not sure if you can see that on the camera here, but little USB-C port. There's a little plug on that. Again, a nice little touch that they didn't necessarily have to do, but that is, I think, if you need to do a firmware update or a recovery or something, that's why you have that. The buttons all feel quite good. Nice travel on them. The rim itself, and this is a big one. This is a big differentiator from the C5. Other than the power, this is a round rim. I love that this comes standard with a round rim. You can also put a formula rim on this. We'll have a quick look at that in a moment. But there is another rim option that they offer, and it's simply a bolt-on, bolt-off kind of steering wheel option. So yeah, I'm super excited about this. I did have some issues with the C5. I'm working through them at the moment. I don't know what exactly is the issue, but when it was plugged in, I could feel an electrical charge off the all the metal bits. So let's put the two of them side by side here. We can see there's a considerable size difference. We've got the mount is on the back of this, so we'll be installing the mount on this as well. But there's a considerable size difference. We've got a bigger rim as well, which is super welcome. We don't have all of these kind of console-like buttons. Now, there were already loads of buttons on the C5, but those buttons have taken just really kind of mature form here, final form. This is a very feature-rich button plate. So let me put it into perspective. If the likes of Cube Controls or Moza or anybody who's producing a high quality finished product, if any of those came out with this, I would be saying exactly the same thing. This is super high quality. I love this little silver bezel on it as well. It's not too much color. I like the blue accents on here. It might be cool if these were also blue to match the thumb encoders, but that's just nitpicking. The stitching on here is black as well. So often you'll see these kind of rims with yellow or red, but the black I think is nice. It's quite subtle. It does have your little marker, your center marker. I don't necessarily think that steering wheels need those, but it's nice. Rally cars have it. So it does give that little bit of a sporty feel. All I can do here is compare them visually. We lose one of these rotary encoders. We gain 2 of these really nice rotary encoders. We get this 4-way kind of directional hat, and then we have a 7-way proper multifunctional hat here. And I wasn't using all these buttons anyway, so having these buttons here and having click down on these rotaries is, yeah, it's a really nice transition. I think they're only going to probably stay with a C5 entry level and a C12. I can't imagine them coming out with like a C18 or C20 or whatever. If what I've experienced with the C5 is anything to go by, this C12 should be plenty. And I really hope I'm not building up too much. I have high expectations for this. Let's get it on the rig.
So here we are in the rig. With a traditional wheelbase, we would have a big wheelbase just behind here. But because of this unique form factor, I should be able to just use this, this amazing ASR Pro wheel plate to bring this up to a really, really nice field of view here. So for those of you who don't know what field of view is a thing that people refer to when they make the screens as realistic as possible. So your position of your steering wheel in relation to everything else, your dash and your windscreen and everything that you see, your side mirrors within the game, making that as realistic as possible. And that might even be slightly high. I might just drop that ever so slightly. There are 4 of these releases that need to be undone. So there's a little bit of, I wouldn't even call it work, just a tiny little bit involved in it. Lower that a little bit lower there. There we go. Now that looks like a pretty comfy driving position now. And so close to the screen. So I'm able to just like flick the screen there. Shifters are quite clicky. We saw that when we were unboxing it, but we'll see how it goes. It's not unlivable. It's similar to kind of the early Simagic wheels. Some people love that click though. So if you like a good click, it is a good loud click, but it might annoy people that live with you. Let's turn it on. Okay, for some reason it's upside down. Let's go look at the software. Okay, so it sees the C12 connected. So you get the wheelbase and steering wheel separate, even though you can't disconnect them from one another. They are seen as separate devices. Parameters here, by default it's on 30% power. Interesting. 15% natural damping, and there's an idle spring. Oh, that means, okay, so that's like a fake spring thing. Now usually I will run things in their default, but I really don't like that. So I'm going to turn that off. Yeah, that's what that is. And let's just see if it knows where the center is. Devices. Okay, so it thinks that that is the center. That's a little bit odd. Bit weird, but I should be able to set the center. Oh, it's down here. It's just below my steering wheel or behind my steering wheel. Okay. And clicking some of these buttons, you can see the rotary encoders. Yeah, unfortunately this, oh, that's interesting. Okay, so this is an analog input. Not sure if you guys can see that there. Let me just move this over. I can see a tiny little analog input thing happening here. Oh, simulate mouse. What's that? Stop the lights. Oh my god, it's controlling my PC mouse. Oh my god, that's so handy. That is so handy. Oh my god. Can I like change to a different menu? Can I click down? That is class. Oh my god. That is so handy. I love it. A little slow, but that's good. It allows you to be precise. Oh, simulate keyboard arrow. Ah, okay. You can get it to do the keyboard arrows as well. So that way you can map it in game, I guess. That is clever. That's good. I like that. So you can map up, down, left, right for some things as well. So it doesn't mean that it's just the mouse. That is cool. I'm going to leave both of those on. Go to the game effects, CF filter and Q factor, game friction. We're going to leave these the way that they are. Effect intensity. Let's just leave them the way they are. And let's jump into a car and get our first impressions. Okay, so first things first, we see the rev gauge. It's quite nice and vibrant. We've got extra indicators on the side. Actually, I wonder in the software, can we control what they do? Devices, oh, dashboard. Oh, this is cool. Okay. So we can control the speed and the gear. Okay, so you can have it always show gear or show the speed. Although it's showing the gear right now, so maybe it just shows the gear when you change the gear. Oh, preset for... That's the RPM lights, okay. That's nice. Quite like that. Which one's clearest though? I guess the red is the clearest, right? Let's just go for that. RPM or percentage. Okay. Oh, we've got button presets. Oh, that's cool. See the way they load in? That's very cool. And you can make custom ones as well. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Signal lights, that's what I wanted. ABS. Oh, that's cool. Okay, okay. So it's showing ABS, traction control, pit. That's very cool. I like this. They've thought about this, guys. And you can customize that as well, which I really like. Yeah, really like that. Okay. Let's just leave that for now. Did it stay on? Maybe it's because I'm on that menu screen. I don't know why they're still on the steering wheel, but anyway, let's give it a go here. Okay, I just reloaded into the game and it all seems to now those side lights are gone off. Okay, I've got a little bit of force feedback. It's very direct again, so kind of come to expect that from. See, that's a very natural way of steering. Little bit of bounce, you're gonna have that. It's actually quite good with the bounciness, considering I've changed nothing. There is a little bit of damping on it, I guess. We're on 30%. And I wonder what my in-game is set at. Just a second. In-game is set at 100. That's good. Alright. Let's see how it fares at this. Just having a look at the steering wheel itself as well. The shift lights are nice. You can control the brightness of those as well. The display is very nice. So I don't think you can change the color of the display. So the C5 has a nice white display. This is a very kind of a indigo display. Just trying to... It feels really nice, guys. Feels good already. I definitely want to feel some of that force though. So let's give it some force. It's on 30 now. And let's crank it up to 80. And if that's still not enough, we'll go for the 100. I can feel a huge amount of weight in that now. Let's go. Oh, there's big weight in that now. Maybe just a little bit of simulated effects on there. Oh, there's massive weight on that. Lads, that's only at 80%. Like this is somewhat like my experience with the La Prima. That was surprising as well. The amount of weight that had. I wonder what these filters actually are. Let's... Okay, now there's like nothing. Q factor. That seems to like bring the force feedback down to nothing. Put that down to 20. Game friction. And turn off the game spring. The game forces intensity. Okay, that feels a bit more natural now. Put that at 70. Put the base settings. Yeah, let's leave them at 80. Alright. Let's give this a go again. Yeah, I'm missing a little bit of the forces here. I'm not sure what this game affects intensity, if that's what's affecting that there. The forces are very, very direct though. This should be the lap now where we get a nice bit of feeling. That was very intuitive to counter steer. Nice to point it there. I felt a little bit of understeer, a little bit of oversteer. Felt it all through the wheel. This is my favorite car and track combo. Oh yes. I think there's definitely still room for improvement in the force feedback, but I also like that it's quite a simple UI. Oh, slid it through that corner. And if any of you have ever driven this car, you know why it's a bit of a crazy car. It's got a lot of power. It's squirmy. That is excellent. That is absolutely excellent. Now I do have to point out something, guys. It has come to my attention that there may be, or there is discussion in the Open FFB Discord that some of the code used for this is for the like an earlier version of just a Midge DIY setup. That's open source software, and it's being sold here with these products. It seems it's just, you know, minor things have changed. I don't know the exact legalities of it and all that, but for those of you who are interested in that and concerned about that, I said I'd point it out, as it is my duty as a reviewer, that I don't know too much about it. I don't know the ethics involved or whatever, but it is something that, because I know of it, I have to point it out to you guys. And it could be part of the reason why this force feedback feels excellent. But I won't dwell on that. For now, let's assume everything is fine, everything is, you know, the way it should be. This is absolutely excellent. Absolutely excellent. The thumb rotaries are very, very within reach. It's just comfortable to drive it, guys. Very comfortable. I almost wish like they had a Formula rim, and it's funny that that I should think of that right now, because they did actually send me a rim that I can change on this. So let's grab that. It's this. It is almost the same size, and it should be as simple as just taking this part off and putting this on. So let's give that a quick go. So we'll put that round rim off to the side. So, not exactly quick release, but it's there. It feels quite good. It does feel quite good. Is it pretty? I much prefer this with the round rim. I have to say that. I kind of like this design. Let's see how it behaves. Is it much different? Is it worth doing? Well, it does definitely feel a little bit better for Formula use. I didn't find it as easy to catch that slide there. It was very intuitive with the round rim. But maybe that's because I've just been using a round rim on the CAMMUS C5 for the last while. I'm feeling lots of force. I don't know, am I feeling more force through it? It is only slightly smaller. You've got the straight edges on it, so that makes a little bit of a difference. You have a bit more space, I think, to touch the thumb rotaries. It is nice. I mean, if you drive mainly GT and stuff, and you've no need for a round rim, at least there's an option. And that is a really good kind of universal button plate. I think with a button plate like this, you're never going to get that true, you know, formula style. Oh, the power. You're never going to get that true formula style experience. That was pretty violent, pretty aggressive, but I have it on a very high setting here. You probably wouldn't run it on this setting. If you're prone to spinning out, you probably wouldn't. You would really want to be confident that you're going to keep it on the track, because as you saw there, it's very, very hard to hold on to it, as it would be in a real car. Let's not forget that. Sometimes in the simulator, you can catch slides and stuff, or withstand forces that in real life you couldn't. Like, you know, if you hit a wall or hit another car or whatever. In sim racing, you can recover from that quite easily. In real life, it could break your wrists. Yeah, I don't know. My gut is telling me that this rim mod, I don't know. I don't think it's for me, but it is cool that it's there. But the force feedback is really good. I think out of the box, the settings haven't wowed me the same way the C5 did. So I really need to keep playing with the software to see how, when I put these effects back up, wonder does that change things again? And let's go to the base settings. There's natural inertia, natural friction. I don't need any of those. Now let's just bring it down a little bit to 70. Let's see how this behaves now. So I've got quite, actually let's turn down that damper. Let's get rid of the damping altogether. Oh yeah, hang on. Right, so that was like not overly heavy through the corners. It's heavy, but very detailed. Okay, feeling that front left loading up, and the second the oversteer hit, I could feel that the wheel wanted to be released. Yeah, it's lovely on the loading up now. Alright, I would definitely turn off that, for Assetto Corsa anyway, which is what I'm using here, definitely turn off that damper, or at least have it very low. Oh yeah, that's nice. And the feeling of the curbs on top of the understeer. Really nice. Yeah. A nice loosening coming over that little bit of a curb, or that little bit of a crest there. You can feel the front end just loosening up a little bit. Steering gets slightly loose, but you have to recover it. It's nice. Yes, this is an excellent force feedback experience as well. I think the C5 is even more impressive because it's so unassuming. This looks the part as well. This really does look the part. I will be putting the round rim back on it, even for my Formula driving. I think that you can easily drive Formula cars with a round rim. It's not necessarily the other way around. So if I was doing rally, I definitely wouldn't be using this. That's nice though. That is nice. So all in all, what are my first impressions of this wheel? I think at, what is it, $550? That's probably going to be about €650. This is a steal. This is a steal. I've seen button plates with this functionality, just the button plate, that cost more than that. So this is exceptionally good value. It performs well. The buttons are all really nice. Not sold on this rim option, but I think it's nice that it's there. I will definitely be putting back on this round rim. It feels slightly nicer as well. There's a little bit of cushion in it. This one feels quite hard. This is almost like a steering wheel that you'd have on a go-kart. You know, they're kind of just a little bit hard. There's a slight sponge in it. You can kind of see that there. Slight sponge, but not as nice as this. This looks like this feels like it's wrapped in something, whereas this is just like like an injected rubber type of thing. So easy enough to switch the rims, not quick. So you're going to have to be dedicated to one or the other. Everything does like exactly what it should. I don't mean to undersell that either. The CAMMUS C5 set the bar very, very high. The thing looks like a toy, but it performs amazing. It has a very small rim, so some of my wish lists for the C5, I wish the rim was bigger, wish it had a bit more power, even though it is very powerful. I just wish it had a little bit more. Wish it had some nice little bits like a, you know, flag indicators, thumb rotaries, 7-way hat is probably the biggest one that's missing from the C5. The shifters on the C5 are a little bit small. So all this is missing out of my wish list is clutch paddles. So I'm missing clutch paddles, which is a bit of a pity, but I think you'll do without it. You might be able to, I mean, you can do buttons for clutch paddles and stuff. It's a little bit more difficult. I do like having the clutch paddles though. It looks nice. It's very impressive. I love that you can get a good FOV. With most wheelbases, I wouldn't be able to achieve this steering wheel angle. This is relatively upright. I wouldn't be able to achieve this because the base would be in the way of my monitor. That's a huge consideration for many people. And if somebody, if I get my friends over and they see this, they don't even realize that there's not a huge base behind this or whatever. They just see a beautiful fascia, a beautiful piece of kit. I would love if the 7-way hats, or the 7-way hat and the 4-way analog stick were the same color as the little rotary encoders, the thumb encoders here. I do feel that same thing that I had with the C5. I feel a little bit of like electrical discharge off it. I don't know why that is. With the C5, it was a bit more of a problem because it was like close to my fingers, and every now and then that would kind of give you a little bit of a shock. I haven't been able to fix that yet. I've plugged it in isolation. I've swapped out all the cables with the C5, and I've not been able to fix that. I seem to have exactly the same thing here with the C12. It's not much of an issue though, so most people won't even probably notice it or care about it. The shifters, a little bit clicky, but very, very effective. The carbon fiber is nice. They have a good feel. The travel is maybe a tiny bit long on them, but if you do put in little dampers, it will reduce that travel as well and that click. So you might need to recalibrate the shifters then if you do that though, but should be fine. I didn't have any problems with shifting or having to calibrate anything. The display is nice and clear. I don't think you can change the color on it. No, you can't change that color, which is fine. Color may not be for everybody, but it's not a divisive color anyway. So yeah, this is exceptional value for money, guys. Exceptional value for money. I can't wait to race with it. I just can't wait to race with it. The C5 was already doing such a good job. Now we're gonna really kind of push this to the limit. We'll see if we need that little fan. I don't think we do. Ireland isn't that hot a country, so the C5's temperatures were all pretty good. So I expect the same with the C12. If you have any questions, do ask in the comments below. If you have this, please let your experience be known as well, positive and negative. Every comment in here is very useful. It just so happens that I take the videos, people watch my videos. I am just one opinion, exactly like everybody in the comments. So whether you agree with my opinion or not, or people in the comments or not, all opinions are valuable. So please do give your opinion in the comments, because it's very important. What do you do when you go to watch a YouTube video? Straight away, when you're finished watching the video, or even during the video, you go down to see what people are saying, because people's voices are important, and I'd like you to give your voices here as well. I stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Irish and UK time. You can find me there. I'll be using this, and you can ask me any questions live on stream. For now, I'm Lawrence, and I'll chat to you later.